Wrestling Still Cool podcast. My name's KM. First and foremost, I'd like to apologize about the uploads from this past week. I've been trying to also get caught up on the TV shows, but I'm going to be realistic. It's going to take so long to get caught up, so I'm going to kind of move on without uploading and recording about the TV shows. I will tell you, I have watched the match between TJP and Josh Alexander from Impact, the 60-man Iron Man match that started on before the Impact and then continued into the TV show. That was probably one of the best Iron Man matches I've seen in a while. These two guys don't really have a slow type of pace to their style. They're more of a quick pace, especially TJP, who was a cruiserweight while he was in WWE. And Josh Alexander, to me, he can draw some similarities to Kurt Angle, but he's a great talent, and I'm glad that Impact has found something for him after Ethan Page left and went to AEW, and subsequently breaking up the North, which was one of the best tag teams that Impact had going for a while. Then you have it's kind of along the same lines what they did with Trey Miguel once the other members of the Rascals left and became, I think they're MSK and NXT right now, but you know, Impact's able to find something for them, and honestly, when it comes to Impact, I really like what they got going on. Against All Odds is this Saturday as part of Impact Plus. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna get Impact Plus just to watch it. I am looking forward to it. I like the fact that they're putting Moose up against Kenny Omega. It's a great opportunity for Moose, and honestly, I think this clash of styles is gonna work. And there's also something else going on this Wednesday. It's gonna be Havoc versus Rosemary. If Havoc wins, she's also into the women's match between Rosemary and Deonna Purrazzo. So, well done, Impact. I'm like what you're doing. As opposed to the uploads, there's a little bit of that, but also I'm going to give you a little bit of a piece of my personal life here. I was in a couple car accidents in 2017. 2017 was not a good year for me. One of which occurred on June 1st. The other one happened on August 15th. I literally got my car back like a week before it got hit again. Both times I was rear-ended. Both times I was sitting still when it happened. The first one I was leaving work, went to go make a turn, just sat there waiting for the traffic to pass. Lady behind me wasn't paying attention, one inch forward and rammed right into me. The second one, the light changed, and I don't know if this person didn't realize there was like 5 people in front of me because he was on the phone at the time. But as soon as the light changed, he ran into the back of me when I was not able to move. So, fun times. The reason I'm bringing that up is the first accident left me issues with my back. Occasionally I'll run into some pain with my back where it hurts to bend, and I just have to lay down and just wait for the pain to go away. There's not like a slip disc or anything like that. It's more or less sprains. And I had seen doctors and whatnot, and they kind of left it as like, look, you're going to have a rough couple years. It's going to take a while for it to officially go away. And for the most part, they're right. For the most part, it doesn't come around that often. It's just few and far between, usually every few months, like 4 months-ish. So I'm grateful about that. But it does cause some issues. So this past weekend, it was my neck. I had issues with my neck to where literally all I can do is lay down on a curved pillow with an ice pack, take Tylenol, and just wait for the pain to go away. So it did hamper me recording on Thursday, Friday, or in Saturday to try and prep uploads for this week. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to try and keep uploads going either way. This one's going to go up on more likely Thursday since I'm recording this on Wednesday night, which, you know, Dynamite is going to be Friday instead of tonight. So what I thought about doing for this recording is because WWE like to let go of a bunch of people, I thought it would be kind of an interesting topic discussion, if you will, of me kind of like saying where I think they're going to go and what they could be done with them, wherever they might go. Kind of like fantasy booking it, but it would be a little bit of a different way of approaching this episode. And if you guys like this kind of stuff, and it kind of goes along with Retribution, which that storyline is almost done being written, I'm all for it. This one's going to be more off the cuff than Retribution. The reason being is I want to do Retribution justice. This is just me hypothetically thinking where they could possibly go, what could be done with them, where they go, and things along that nature. So I would like some feedback on this. Way you could do that is you can follow us on Twitter and tweet at me or direct message me at Wrestling S Cool. You got the Facebook, which is Wrestling Still Cool, Instagram, which is Wrestling Still Cool, and TikTok, Wrestling Still Cool 90. I'm actually on TikTok independently as at KM Wrestling Still Cool, I think is what it's called. Or KM of Wrestling Still Cool. I gotta double check that. By the way, or you can hit us on the email, wrestlingstillcool@gmail.com. Provide any kind of feedback and thoughts, things like that. This upload is also going to go on the YouTube. So if you wanna comment on the YouTube and let us know what you think of, where I go with this, whether or not you agree, disagree, what you think, things like that. Just go ahead and do that. Reach out to us there, and we'll be able to reply back to you. All right, let's get into this. All right, so we're not going to really talk about what he could do after this, but Adnan Virk, he decided to leave WWE. He said the traveling schedule was just not going to work because of other obligations he has. I feel sorry for the situation that Adnan Virk's hiring has caused, because at this point, they lost Mojo and subsequently cut him, and Tom Phillips, but that's really what's going on with Adnan Virk. I haven't really seen too much of the new guy to really give a good opinion on how I felt as him. But I just was not a fan of Adnan Virk. I would never ask for anybody to be cut or lose their job, but I didn't dig him as a personality. So Tom Phillips, though, I like Tom Phillips. He did have a lot of dirt come out about himself. But generally speaking, I thought he was pretty good. He felt like more of a Michael Cole. But overall speaking, I think he was pretty good. What I think he could do, and this is only if Impact is interested in picking him up. If Impact was to do another TV show, which they probably have the depth chart for it, it's just whether or not Access or I think it's Anthem that's over them. Anthem Sports or something along those lines that's over them. If they want to create another show for Impact, something like an Explosion or something like that, since they're on Thursday nights, maybe do like an hour of Explosion on like Sundays or something. I could see Tom Phillips being the main commentator for that. They currently have Josh Matthews working backstage, and their two main commentators are Matt Stryker and D'Lo Brown. I think if they wanted to pick up Tom Phillips, I think that would be a good get for Impact. I don't think he'd work for AEW personally, but that's just my opinion. And with that said, AEW currently has Jim Ross, they have Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, Big Show doing Elevation, and they're going to have Mark Henry be part of Rampage. And, Taz does commentary here and there. I don't think that AEW needs another commentator, and I don't really feel like Tom Phillips would kind of fit the bill. So that's where I see him going. Drake Wirtz, I don't have anything for him. I know he had a lot of drama go towards him for his personal views regarding BLM and everything else. So I think most companies are going to look at him like we can't touch him. The only possibility I could think of is maybe Ring of Honor, since Ring of Honor is tied to a group that kind of leans that same direction. But at the same time, I really don't see anyone, grabbing him up immediately. And of course, Mark Carrano, I don't think that's going to happen, just with all the dirt that keeps coming out about him. I'm not going to talk about Andrade, because Andrade has shown up to be part of AEW this past Friday. So that's kind of a given. Braun Strowman, I do not see him working in AEW. A lot of people want him in AEW. I just don't think it would work. The big guys currently in AEW that are in terms of height are mainly like your Lance Archers. And I think Lance Archer's character wouldn't work against a Braun Strowman. We did have Brody Lee previous to his death and Eric Redbeard show up here and there. But with Braun Strowman's capabilities, I actually think he would be better suited for someone like Impact. People have also brought up that New Japan knows how to work with big guys and make him look like a big monster. And if New Japan and him are interested in doing that, good for them. It's just, if I was to, say, I think he belongs here, I think putting him with Impact would do a lot for Impact, and Impact has a lot of bigger guys. Maybe not necessarily for the hype, but they got the Triple XL guys in Larry D and AC Romero. They have Fallah Bahh, and as well as a few others. And I think those those offsets of each other would be amazing to kind of see on TV. And also, Braun could kind of work with the smaller guys. You know, your Eddie Edwards, your Sammy Callahans, your TJPs, Trey Miguel's. So I think Impact is better suited to cater to what Strowman brings. I just don't think he'll really work with AEW. Aleister Black, I like him in AEW. One of the things that people keep talking about whether or not he would be a leader of the Dark Order. The problem is that AEW has no intention of replacing the leader of Dark Order because of Brody Lee's death. They want to honor him and respect him, and they feel that that's the best way they can do it. I'm completely okay with that. What I think would kind of fit is if Aleister became like an assassin for the Dark Order. I think that would kind of work, where maybe like, let's say John Silver or Alex Angels loses a match, then Aleister comes out and destroys him in a match kind of thing. It would kind of play off the fact that he's a dark arts and he could branch off from there. I think that'd be one way to introduce his character, and just have him be Tommy and the Dark Assassin or something along those lines. I think with his MMA style of wrestling, it would definitely work. Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott would be a amazing addition to the women's division in AEW. AEW kind of needs the star power. I think they would need someone like a Ruby Riott. And I still stand behind it. The Iconics should absolutely 110% go there. I think with helping build up the women's division with a tag team like the Iconics, and you got Ruby and the Iconics that are more seasoned veterans, with AEW, I think it would benefit. And with them adding Rampage, another hour of television, I think that gives them more of a opportunity to put the women out there. It sucks to say it like this, but it kind of has the feeling that the women's division AEW is surrounded by Anna Jay, the Bunny, Tay Conti, Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and Hikaru Shida. And some NWA ladies with like Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb. It just doesn't feel like it's as full as it could be. Impact has a very full women's roster, as well as WWE, and Impact does amazing stuff with the women's wrestling, and they always have, even when they called them the Knockouts. But I think the best opportunity for someone like a Ruby Riott or the Iconics to help build the division off their backs is in AEW. How they would introduce Ruby Riott? Well, she's not going to be called Ruby Riott. She'll probably be called something like Heidi Lovelace, which was her independent name before. And I don't really have a storyline to built into it, besides maybe have her go after the ladies that are associated with Vicky Guerrero. But that's about it. I do think if they do bring her in, that she has to be a face. People are feeling for her being cut, and I think they could ride that momentum. For Lana, a lot of people speculate she'll be part of AEW, which I have no problem with it. I wouldn't put her there, on my personal opinion. People want her to be the mouthpiece to Miro, and sure, I could see that. But I kind of feel like Lana would do well in Impact. I think Impact would be a good place for her. They can help build her character up and allow her to expand upon what she has learned from WWE. I think with a more full women's division that they can't really build off of. AEW cannot build off of Lana like they could Ruby Riott. However, I think with a full roster like Impact has, it allows Lana to learn from those ladies and kind of gain more of an ability there and more knowledge there, to where once she does finish up with Impact, she has a choice of AEW or WWE, depending on what she does there, which I kind of hope she would not go back to WWE, but that's just my opinion. But I think Lana is not someone that AEW can build on, but I think Impact could use her, but I think the Iconics and Ruby Riott are better suited for AEW to build upon. But again, my opinion, and that's where I think she should go. Buddy Murphy would definitely be a good addition to WWE. He has a look, he has a charisma.